Hi single parents out there. Today I wanted to speak to you about a really challenging time that I went through in my life and the magical spiritual phrase, the Ho'oponopono phrase that I used to help me to get through that challenge. So if any of you know about Ho'oponopono or have any experiences about Ho'oponopono, which in essence translates to I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. If any of you have used that phrase when you were in a challenging situation and it helped you so tremendously, I would like for you to just comment in the comments below because I'm going to share mine here today. Now, Joe Vitale wrote the book Ho'oponopono. And what it tells there is how a Hawaiian doctor who was a psychiatrist, he was working at this facility, and being on the spiritual path, he taught Joe Vitale this spiritual phrase that they use to dissolve and transmute negative energy, especially when there's a challenging situation. So this doctor, psychiatrist, he was working at a psychiatric facility, and without seeing even one patient, he would basically take the file, sit with the file, and while looking at the file, the patient's file, he would just say the phrase, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. He probably did it in Hawaiian, Ho'oponopono, Ho'oponopono. And he would just say that over and over again. And then he would move on to the next file, and the next patient's file, and the next patient's file. So what was unique about the story is he didn't see any of these patients in person. He would just look at their file, go to work every day, look at their file, and say Ho'oponopono, Ho'oponopono, which, as I've mentioned before, in essence means I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. And the idea around it is that you are responsible for everything that happens in your life, even when that something is happening to someone else. Because obviously on a higher level, we are all one. So even though it's happening to someone else, it is also your responsibility, and you can do something about it by clearing the energy around it. So the story goes, it wasn't very long, and that facility then closed because all the patients were relieved. They all got better and better every day. They were getting better and better and releasing them to the point where the facility closed down. So I wanted to share my experience with Ho'oponopono. I was going through quite a financial challenges at the time as a single parent. I think most of you can sympathize with that. And I had to move out of the house that I was in. I had to find an apartment. I had to, when you find an apartment in South Africa, we need a rental and the deposit. I had to put that down in order to be able to live in this apartment. And I wanted this apartment to be close to the school where my children were schooling so that they wouldn't have to do long walks, because at that time we didn't have a car. So I was in this predicament of I don't have the deposit or rental money to put down. So why would I be looking for an apartment? But I just kept saying this phrase, this Ho'oponopono phrase, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. As I was going throughout my day, I would just say, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. Because I read the book and it was very clear that this phrase clears all negative energy around challenges. So what happened? I was saying the phrase and I had to go to this friend of mine. I had to use his fax machine, and while I was there, he was asking me how is the apartment hunting going, and I was explaining to him, you know what, I am not even looking because I don't have the deposit plus rental to put down. I just don't have the money, and I'm really in a very tight situation. I don't know what I'm going to do. He said to me, you know what, let's just look at the apartments, let's just see what's out there, what does it cost. And so he opened up the newspaper, he looked into the newspaper, found an apartment, said, you know what, I'm going to call them, let's just go have a view. I know we don't have the money to put anything down, but let's just go have a look at it. And I said, fine. Then we phoned, made a booking, went and see the apartment. The apartment was perfect. It was right across from the school where my children were schooling, which means they could just walk across the road and they would be at school. The only thing missing was I wanted a bit of a yard, like a courtyard or something for them. It didn't have that. But when we finally moved in, what I found was that the children, my kids, they spend most of their day at school. They only came home like 5 o'clock because they were taking part in extracurricular activities. So they did have enough playground at the school. We didn't need a yard at home. And so what happened, just going a little bit back, retracing my steps there. My friend, when we went to look at the apartment, he said, you know what, that is perfect. What are we to do now? He said, you know what? I understand that you can't take out a loan now, but I'm going to take out a loan for you and you can just repay that loan and that'll be enough to cover your rental as well as your deposit. And I was so grateful. So in all of that, as that scenario was unfolding, nothing was required of me. I didn't have to do anything. My friend just stepped in and did all of that for me. He told them we're accepting the apartment, he paid the deposit and rental with a loan, and I was able to just repay that loan monthly, which of course I did. And we were moved in and we were so happy. It was just, everything was just about it was just perfect. So before all of that was resolved, I felt like my back was against the wall. I felt like there was nothing I could do in this situation. Who was going to loan me this money? Who would I ask? And just by remembering about this phrase and repeating it over and over, I saw the benefits of it dissolving that situation and coming up with a solution for me. This was not the only time I used it. The reason I wanted to give you a powerful example is I want to encourage you. You could know the phrase, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. But if you aren't using it, if you aren't actually using the mantra throughout your day, it won't be of any help. And if you find yourself in that kind of situation at the moment, please use this phrase. It will give you those magical results. Another story I have is where as I've mentioned before, we didn't have a car at that time and I needed a car for work, so I needed to purchase a vehicle. I was earning quite good money, but my credit record wasn't that good at the time because after my divorce, some of the things I was struggling to pay, and so that impacted my credit record. So when I wanted to buy a car, I didn't know if the bank would give me a loan because I didn't have a perfect credit record. And so once again, I just did the mantra. Throughout my days, I was doing whatever I'm doing. I would do it at night when I go sleep for, 10, 15 minutes. I would do it when I wake up. And then throughout the day, if I'm doing the dishes, I would do it. If I'm cooking, I would do it. If I'm driving, I would do it. Whenever I remember, I would just do it. Instead of my mind wandering to the problem of the situation, my mind would become more focused on the solution. I wouldn't be necessarily imagining any outcomes, but I would just say this mantra knowing that it's clearing all negative energy. And so what happened was a friend recommended for me to go to a specific person to apply for the loan. I did that, and lo and behold, even though my credit record wasn't perfect, I was able to get the loan for my vehicle, and I was obviously able to perform my job and be a lot more productive and become quite abundant and take care of my family. All because in those situations, I remember to use this magical Ho'oponopono phrase. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. So I'm excited. I'm actually going to make an audio because I know for a lot of people, they become distracted when they have to, for example, do a mantra. Maybe you can do it for a few minutes, but not very long. So I have taken it upon myself to make an Ho'oponopono audio, which is I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, so that you can benefit from that. And whenever you are facing a challenge, you can use this to resolve and transmute the negative energy of that situation. What I also need to remind myself of is, even when you're not facing a challenging situation, to use that mantra, because your subconscious mind is always running these negative programs, and the way to neutralize that energy is through this very simple mantra. And a lot of times we think when things are simple, when things are easy, it's like, no, that's not complicated enough. Will that work? The only way you're going to find out if it works is by doing it. And it's because I was doing it in these challenging situations, and now I continue to do it even when there are no challenges that I'm facing. I just do it, and it makes my relationships go a lot smoother. It makes my business go so much smoother. At this moment, as I'm growing my online business, I am using that phrase to bring in the correct clients that wants to use the product. My product, it's going to be able to help them and take them to the next level of their own spiritual growth, spiritual path, and the life that they want to live. So in the link below, you are able to get that audio, Ho'oponopono, and I do it along with the hypnosis. I put you in a really relaxed state where I repeat this phrase for you over and over. You can say it along with me. You can just say it in your mind. You can just listen to it, and you will find that it's going to clear the negative energy, the negative programming that's running in your subconscious mind, so that you can live a life that feels more fulfilled, that feels happy, and also with regards to your children, that they are able to benefit from you being happy and being open and being abundant. So please check out the audio in the link. All the details are there. Thank you so much for being here for my video, and I want you to please comment below if there are any challenges that you are facing that you would like me to address in my next video. Please share, please subscribe. It really helps this community of single moms to grow, so that we are able to support one another through any challenging and difficult situations.